Good day, students, and welcome to our online science class. Before we begin, make sure to prepare the following materials with you: your textbook, pages 23 to 27, your pen, and a highlighter. The topic that we're going to discuss in this video is Lesson 3 of Chapter 1, Water Solids, Liquids, and Gases. The objective of this lesson is to observe and measure properties of states of matter and identify phase changes. In our previous lesson, we discussed how can matter be described. We can describe matter through its color, mass, volume, temperature, and texture. Let's begin our lesson with states of matter. Water has three forms. Water is a solid when it is frozen as ice. Water is a liquid in the ocean. In the air, water can be gas. Solid, liquid, and gas are the most familiar states or phases of matter. The phase of water or any material, whether it is a solid, liquid, or gas, is due to the motion and arrangement of its particles, its molecules, or its atoms. The particles are always moving. Most of the materials around us are solids, liquids, and gases. For example, cooking oil is a liquid. Butter is a solid when it is cold, but butter can turn into liquid if it gets hot. Cooking oil is a liquid, butter is a solid. Both are used in cooking. Solids. A solid is a substance that has a definite shape and volume. You know for sure what shape means. Volume refers to the amount of space an object takes up. The particles of a solid are very close together. For the most part, they stay in the same place. They do not slide easily past each other. However, they vibrate in place. Coins, ball, and pen are some examples of solid. Liquids. A liquid is a substance that has a definite volume but no definite shape. The particles of a liquid can move by gliding past each other. A liquid can take the shape of its container. Forces hold liquid particles together, so a liquid keeps a definite volume. The water we drink, the oil we used in cooking, and your favorite juice drink is a liquid. Gases. A gas is a substance without definite shape or volume. The particles of gas are far apart compared to the particles of solids and liquids. Gas particles only affect one another when they collide as they move. A gas can be squeezed into a smaller volume. If a gas is placed in an empty container, its particles will spread out evenly. The gas will fill all the space and take the shape of that container. The air that we breathe in and we breathe out are gases. That's oxygen and carbon dioxide. Water vapor is also a gas. Matter, the substance that all things are made of, exists in states such as liquid, like the strawberry juice, solid, like the popsicle, and gas, like the water vapor coming out of the pot. Everything we drink is in a liquid state. Matter in its liquid state takes on the shape of its container, and it has a definite volume. Particles in liquids are separated and can move freely. The popsicles that we eat are solid. Matter in solid state is characterized by having a definite shape and volume. Particles are held together in an organized structure. The vapor coming out of the pot is a gas. Matter in its gaseous state can change its volume and shape, taking up the space in its container. The particles are well separated and can move freely. Solids, liquids, and gases. Plasmas. Sometimes atoms break down into parts that have electric charges. This can happen at very high temperatures. This state of matter is called plasma. Plasma is like a gas because it has no volume or shape of its own. It is also like a metal because it can conduct electricity. The sun is made of gas and plasma. Lightning and aurora are plasmas. There is also plasma in neon lights. Your plasma TV probably has an electrical source and it has gases that is excited by electricity, such as neon. Freezing and melting. As liquids get colder, their particles slow down. At some point, they stop gliding past each other and can only vibrate in place. The liquid becomes a solid. The temperature at which a material changes between solid and liquid states has two names. It is called freezing point when a liquid turns into solid. It is called melting point when a solid turns into a liquid. The melting point and the freezing point are the same temperature. We all know that ice is a solid state of water. If ice is heated, it will melt. The temperature at which ice will turn into liquid water is 0 degrees Celsius. Therefore, we can say that the melting point of water is at 0 degrees Celsius. If we would put water in the freezer, there will be change in temperature, and liquid water will turn into ice. The temperature at which liquid water will turn into ice is at 0 degrees Celsius. Therefore, we can say that the freezing point of water is at 0 degrees Celsius. You would notice that the melting point and the freezing point of water are the same. Freezing and melting temperatures are often just referred to as the melting point. Each material has its own melting point. Therefore, the melting point can be used to help identify a material. For example, this material is lead. Lead is a metal that is dense. The melting point of lead is 327 degrees Celsius. At this temperature, solid lead becomes liquid and can be poured into molds to give any shape that we want. Solid lead is used to weigh down or sink fishing hooks. We might want to consider the melting point of a substance before choosing materials such as frying pans and engine parts, because the material should have a high melting point, otherwise it could melt. It will not be strong enough. Evaporation. Evaporation takes place when particles leave a liquid and become a gas. Particles evaporate from a liquid when they are at the surface of the liquid and are moving upward with enough speed. Because the particles are at the surface of the liquid and are moving with enough speed, the water in wet clothes evaporate. Molecules of water evaporate from the clothes as they dry. In water vapor, the molecules of water are far apart. Molecules at the surface move fast enough to leave the clothes and enter the air. When a liquid is heated, the bonds that make up the matter becomes more loose so that the particles move around freely. Liquid turns into gas. If the temperature of a liquid is high enough, particles will change to a gas not only at the surface but also throughout the liquid. As gas particles move quickly upward through a liquid, bubbles of gas form under the surface of the liquid. The boiling point of a liquid is the temperature at which these occur. Condensation. Condensation occurs when a gas turns into a liquid. This process often occurs when the gas particles touch a cold surface and the temperature of the gas drops. As gas cools, the particles that make up matter start coming to one another and move around more slowly. This will continue to happen until gas turns into liquid. Clouds in the sky and dew on the ground form through the condensation of water vapor. What is needed for condensation to occur? A decrease in temperature. As the air temperature decreases, the molecules of water vapor come together and condense, forming the liquid water droplets we call dew. The dew on the spider's web formed before sunrise because the temperature is lower before sunrise. We have observed properties of states of matter and we have identified phase changes. Today we learned that solid is a substance that has a definite shape and volume. A liquid is a substance that has a definite volume but no definite shape. A gas is a substance with a definite volume or shape. Plasma is like gas because it has no volume or shape of its own. It is also like a metal because it can conduct electricity. We also learned that freezing point is the temperature when a liquid turns into solid. Melting point is the temperature when a solid turns into a liquid. Evaporation takes place when particles leave a liquid and become a gas. Condensation occurs when gas turns into a liquid. Don't forget to log in to your Pearson account for online homework. I hope you learned a lot from this video. Until next time!